folks, and welcome back to another episode of Our Journeys. Feels like I've been away forever, but for you it's probably been a lot faster, and we have jumped into what seems to be a landslide victory in process for Card Shark Charlie, with the spiffy premium big guy there who's about to go away, nuked by a Divine Fervor. And perhaps I spoke too soon, as Bazooka Tooth 72, the Morning Star, who, unfortunately for them, being very, very short on cards, yeah, I think Card Shark is going to run away with this one. But we still get to see a little bit of that gameplay there, and it allows me to get through my intro. Yeah, just, yeah, it's great to be back. I mean, the last time I recorded one of these was a week ago, so, yeah, it's been a while for me. Oh, and Card Shark, what's going on, buddy? I know you, but you do not play Poopstone. Boo! Bad Card Shark, bad! What is that all about? When did you start doing this? I go away from a week and suddenly you're playing Poopstone? My goodness gracious, man. You know, you make it very difficult to pull for you. Very difficult here. Which doesn't really matter because you're gonna pull it off anyway. You've got a great thing going there. Where are we at in the month anyway? We're almost halfway through the month. Card Shark sitting at the lady. His opponent also at the lady. So both have reached the golden oasis for players in general. Rank 4. That's kind of where you want to get every season, just so that you can stay in the mix and don't have to work your way back up, like I'm going to have to in the event that I ever try to bring this back. I'm going to be starting off at rank 12, which is a sad state of affairs. Bazooka Tooth. I mean, the bats, the drains are keeping them alive. Oh my goodness gracious, a 6/6 neck. 7/7. Wow, that is a big fella there. But we see Card Shark does not have, if he had Breakthrough, he probably has Lethal, but right now, he is just a little bit off. We're probably going to see Sanctuary Pet at the very least. Well, Sanctuary Pet and Javelin, I'm guessing. And we do see both of those. So while I would not have predicted Card Shark playing Poopstone, I did predict. Out of the 4 cards that he played, the only 2 that made sense. Alright, unfortunately for Bazooka, unfortunately Bazooka does have an answer for that, but he does not have an answer. Oh, no he does! He has the answers. Okay, no, yeah, Squish the Wimpy on the 5/3 with his Sank Pet, and that'll do it. Or, yeah, a little flashier, Invade. Alright, Card Shark, well done, well done. Good stuff. And next up, we are joining Bodybag BZ, the king of alliterative names. I do love the BBB, the B cubed, B3. I always call him Bodybag for now. Interesting, starting at rank 9. What? Okay, so I think it was last season he got all the way to Legendary, or maybe it was the season before that, and has since taken a bit of a slide. Of course, I can relate. I know how that feels. But we know he is capable. And he knows he is capable. I remember initially he was under the impression that if you go into the snake, you lose ranks, or if you lose out of the if the snake craps you out, it craps you into the lower rank. And he found out otherwise. The douche coming down with a mighty ping against Zaheniara, the deflector. But in any case, and I wanted to point out, in the case I haven't before, the nice synergy Bodybag BZ has with the title of the Gravedigger as Bodybags. Well, I don't think people get buried in body bags, but that is the precursor to burial. Okay, and we see old Salty's Assault.
Fortune smile upon me.
And Bodybag rightly seeing that as a, I mean, on turn 5, that's... Now, Bodybag does have the ring, so it didn't come out a turn early, fortunately enough, but it is still, it can still be a problem. Fortunately, the douche is actually in a pretty good position to hold off some of those crabs there. Ice Storm, of course, is going to be the play here, and it will be magnificent. May even get a concede out of the deflector. Probably if he only had 1 or 2 cards in his hand, but right now... And Bodybag doesn't even want to ping for 4. Would not break a rune. I know a lot of people are like that, or can be like that. You know, they have a certain gameplay in mind. I think if your opponent is running in red, where there's a lot of strength, where there's a lot of options to, destroy your own runes very easily, I think that's definitely the safer play. Okay, Giggles, I got to imagine is going to come down here, maybe with the Crusader's Assault. But I mean, he really hasn't taken that much damage. 7, it looked like he was going to be on a roll there. He was going to be on a quick downward turn, especially after the crabs came out. But yeah, that Ice Storm came up clutch. Hive Defender would have got the job done as well. The crabs are not very strong. They're very petite little creatures. Speaking of crabs, though, let me just tell you, worst experience ever at a buffet, which is saying something, because I've been to some abysmal buffets. But the most abysmal buffet cannot compare to the buffet at Caesar's Palace in Vegas. That's where I was on my vacation, hanging out with some friends, celebrating my friend's 50th birthday party, which also coincided with, or has often coincided with, Super Bowl weekend. Anyway, great time, but yeah, the buffet was abysmal. First of all,
Haven't you ever met a lich?
I'd never been there before, but my friend who had said that when he went, which was only a few years ago, the cost was like $35. He was like, expect it to be maybe 45 or 50, maybe, but probably closer to the 45 mark, which is fair for the kind of spread that they have. Now, they do have like king crab legs or just giant crab legs. I don't know what makes them king or not. I have no interest in those myself, but I understand, I've been to buffets where when those are featured, they charge a little bit more, but a lot of buffets have the sense to put them off kind of to the side, and you pay an extra amount. If you want unlimited crab legs, you have to pay a certain thing. They put like a little thing on your table to let, so that the folks know, hey, this person paid the extra for the legs. But that's not what this buffet did. Anyway, we had a reservation for $12.45. A reservation, mind you. That reservation only entitled us to stand in line. That's all it did. So we got to stand in line for 45 minutes just to get to the cash register. We're not at the buffet yet. We've stood in line. Oh, I thought that was the... Oh, what a whiff on that one. Holy... Oh, maybe... Was that from the mud crab? I guess that was from the mud crab. I should have been paying better attention. Oh, no, I wouldn't have known because he would have got that from the mud crab anyway. I mean, it's right in the right colors. No, he got her. He got the... Because she's not in the right color. My goodness gracious. Yeah, see, I got off of my storytelling and I completely lose track of what the heck is going on here. And it's a good game, it really is. I mean, Body Bag definitely has the card advantage right now, but his opponent seems to come up with pretty quick. Now, I wonder if he knows if every skeleton he kills, she gets weaker. Like she derives her strength from the skeleton, so if you kill him, she just gets tinier and tinier and tinier. So interesting. It's the opposite of the Bone Colossus, which gives power to the skeletons. She actually derives her power from the skeletons, and if there are none on the board, she's a pithy little 1/5. Anyway, so we wait for 45 minutes in this line after getting a reservation. Mind you, we got kicked out. We showed up at 12:15 just to kind of not to wait in line, but just like, hey, maybe if they have slots available or something, we'll be able to slide in early. And they were no, you can't even stand in line until like 15 minutes till your appointment time. So we start standing in line. 45 minutes. We get there. $70. 70. Like I said, Zaheni just keeps putting down these cards that are not allowing Body Bag to really catch his breath. Although, to be fair, he's not really in a bad place. 25. I mean, he's doing better than Zaheni in terms of his Magicka. His board is getting bigger and bigger by the minute. With every swing, his Helgen squad leader. And shout out to Willpower. Willpower, I cannot remember your full title, but Willpower said, if you're going to play Token... maybe he said don't play Token Crusader. I said that, obviously because it's weak to Ice Storm and those things, but said you definitely help play the Helgen squad leader. He needs more love. And so it is, I believe. So it may require... Well, let's see. Oh! Oh, Body Bag! Unless I missed it, which I might have, and he got that from the crab. And I'm thinking that's the case. Oh no, because he blackmail. No, I think he is playing a Unite deck. My gosh, and that's been sitting there for how long, and I haven't even noticed. Sorry, folks. Sorry, I am a little congested. I'm not going to blame it on that. It's just me trying to talk about this abysmal buffet and not really paying as much attention as I should on how things are transpiring and what exactly is transpiring here. I should have known as soon as I saw him play the trinket. I'm like, wait a minute. Typically, unless you're just one of those I like to steal decks, sticky fingers, it's a you know, it's indicative of a Unite deck because you're trying to pool those resources. And Zenny does have, in Agility, cards that Body Bag needs, and in fact he does have the Cliff Racer. So I'm catching up now. Obviously he already has the Soul Rest Marshal. He's had that for a long time. And what's great is as long as Body Bag is in lead, which he is now, Soul Rest essentially plays for free. It discounts for 6 less. So yeah, he essentially comes out for free. So he can play. He can fill it with more, which would also explain why he has not been hyper aggressive, and why he didn't attack that one time. You know, he's like, I'm not trying to win by force of arms. I want to win with my Unite, and that's a hard thing to do. Again, Thief of Dreams is going to be another way to get a card, but he doesn't need anything else from Zenny at this point, unless Zenny got something from the Mud Crab in purple. Well, he already played the blue, which Body Bag already has. So anyway, yeah, we wait for, yeah, $70. And then they're like, would you like to include the tip or pay it later? And it's like, or pay for the tip now or later. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is a buffet. All they're going to do is bring me water. Seriously? We're going to be tipping for this now? Now, I know they do bus, and our server did bus, so, you know, I did the 20% thing. But so it effectively comes out to like $80. And even then, and then after you pay, you wait for another 25 or 30 minutes to get to the buffet. So you had 45 minutes just to be able to pay, and that's the thing. If we just had to pay up front, we would all turn back around. Like, because at $40, I think the buffet, kind of worth it, possibly. Does have a whiff on the Thief of Dreams. And to be fair, the game really never makes that. Anytime you have to decide, it doesn't make it easy. Like, it usually gives you cards that, I think because it's like, do they have it in their hand? And usually the cards that are shown are cards that both of them would work in that deck. There's not like one that's like, oh, they're not running animals, so this wouldn't be in there. It's usually cards that are like, I don't know, it's really a guess. It's not so much intuiting or, you know, saying, okay. I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. But I think in general, holy cow. The Spriggan comes down this time, getting a lot of value, so that definitely was part of the plan. I probably would have noticed that if I'd tried this earlier. So Body Bag looks like is going to have to really knuckle down. So Henny just really managing the staying power, considering Body Bag's like, oh, now he's saddled with... That's the only downside. You got to run more than one copy, especially in a 3 attribute deck. You got to run more than one copy of Unite the Houses. But it really sucks once you've got more than one in your hand. God forbid you get 3. So, he's got blue. He's got gold. He already played his Soul Rest in order to kind of stabilize a little bit. He does still have the Cliff Racer. Well, actually, no, he has a Nasi, about the same cost. And we get a little spamming from Zenny. Not spamming. You don't want to throw that word around. It's one taunt. And again, Body Bag has a card, has a green card to spare with a Nasi. Oh! There we go. Purple. Is that all he needed? No, he needs red. He needs red. And I don't see a way for him to get it. He doesn't have a way to pilfer it. He doesn't have a way to create it at this moment. And is Zenny going to be able to push 9 damage here? Is that the end? Swift Strike will do it. Oh, is this the end? That's it. Barring a prophecy, no. And Body Bag's attempt to unite the houses is fraught with peril. And we are witnessing the end of the finale of a Jay Shades versus Louis David, or Louis David perhaps, the war hero. And Jay Shades with the Aelid Guardians on curve. Looks like he's going to be able to stabilize. I mean, that's never a given, especially when it looks like, wow, Louis David is running. Hey, to be fair, it looks like he's running a movement archer and a movement scout. It's quite crazy there. I am almost positive we'll see the Guardian come down. And then, of course, he has... I mean, he's got 2 of those, plus Odahviing. So you'd think he's going to be able to stabilize. And he's got the Curse. He's got a way to take out the 9/5, which is the most dangerous.
You're so sweet.
Okay, so he's going to hold off on the Guardians. Yeah, with the Curse and the 2 cards he has on board, he will be able to get rid of the 9/5, which, like I said, I think is the most... Okay, he's going to use a different card to make it happen. Holds on to his Curse. Doesn't have a finish off or Leaf Lurker. But now they are tied there, and he has got a... I mean, it's close. He doesn't have an amazing board. That Sweet Roll is there and looking terribly formidable.
My bow is ready.
Wow, yep. And even that little board. But we know the Elite Guardian is gonna be the death knell here. Boom, shakalaka. And yep. Opponent's gonna go, those darn Guardians. You are the victor. Or what does she say? Oh, she doesn't say anything. That's interesting. Alright, KFluffy.NPO friends. He is playing at a Telvanni list, but mark my words, folks, it is not your mom's Telvanni. That's not how KFluffy rolls. I would be surprised. I'm not saying it's out of the question, but I would be surprised if we see the usual suspects for like, oh, look at this! Look at this! Holy cow! So, Feet5 Thumb, remember we actually saw him a while ago, because I tried to, it was like several episodes ago, because I was trying to figure out his name. Now, he has climbed all the way to, he is at rank number 1, and KFluffy at number 3. Look at this, what a match! Holy cow, I can't believe it took me a second to realize the magnitude of this match. I saw Telvanni and I was like, just want to let you know, like I said, you may not even see Guardians in this list. In fact, this might be a version of the one he sent me, which is primarily using Undead, but I don't think Consume, I don't think Boneweaver was in there. Actually, no, it was. So yeah, I can tell you this is not the common Telvanni list. And KFluffy looking for some answers. Grave Grasp might get the trick done here. Oh, it's only going to shackle 1. But it does summon 1/1 for every one of them in the lane. And that's going to make, he's going to be able to give Skooma Racketeer a little Venom. And then probably the Mentor's Ring. We'll probably see Skooma and Mentor's Ring. And KFluffy will be able to wipe out Feet5 Thumb's entire Shadow Lane, which unfortunately now includes a big old dragon. So yeah, this is, I got his little hands pull away. So, make no mistake. Okay, he's doing even better than what I said. He does the lethal guard, and wow, that is some magic from KFluffy. And suddenly things are looking, yeah, no, Feet5 Thumb, you took the words right out of my mouth. That was indeed splendid, and KFluffy pushing the aggression. We know, I mean, that is one thing I admire, well, not one thing, I mean, I admire many things, but one of the great things KFluffy, oh no, I was going to say Ice Storm or Firestorm, but I mean, KFluffy still has that beefy lane now, that beefy field lane, with 11 damage. Ooh, that's also a dangerous card. That can snowball if Feet5 Thumb has a ton of, but I mean, well, so Viper and Staff of Ice will get it done, I believe. Oh, and he gets drained, and that's going to be GG. Look at that, KFluffy pushing, and he is now. I don't know I don't know how this works. You would think this would either make KFluffy a number 2, or in fact number 1, as he is toppled number 1. But how this game ranks its stuff, I don't know. But yeah, the RNG there did give him a buff, though. But to be fair, he was in a really good spot without that. But let's see what Feet5 Thumb could have done. 7, and he could have shackled the 10, so it would have been much tighter. And in fact, I mean, the game is not over now that he's able to do that. Ash Berserker for the card draw. So yeah, it's not over. Territorial Viper is going to do good work here, I think. Yeah, I think Territorial Viper and Staff of Ice is going to be able to. Oh no. He just has lethal, because I'm silly. Well done, KFluffy. We will see where you rank a little bit later on today, hopefully. And we are rejoining KFluffy for no reason for me to set the record straight. You probably saw it sooner than I did. This is Arena, not Ladder. Which isn't, there's not a huge distinction other than, I gotta say though, KFluffy, you can correct me, but this looks a lot like the list that you sent me in constructed. I mean, there's obviously some differences, but the themes seem to be very similar. But no, this is not a constructed deck. This is an arena pick, so which makes it even more amazing. But yeah, Imbued Bossomer, that's in the list that he sent me. That's a card he runs with great efficacy. But yes, and as you can see, life is not fair in the world of Tessel. He beated He defeated. There we go. The number one, the rank number one in Fee Fi Foot Thumb at the time, and he is still rank 3, which is the rank that he was before he won. So, yeah, life's not fair, folks. And Elder Scrolls Legends likes to remind you that every once in a while. In the ranking, I mean, he should have at least gone to rank 2, if not toppled rank 1. I mean, he beat rank number 1. I know there's a bunch of math behind the scenes, but at least we can see that. And gets the Whispering Clawstrike, a card that many have said, not many, a few have said that they have included in their constructed decks after witnessing its efficacy and how great it can swing the board and the tide of battle as a prophecy. Although, admittedly, I still have not seen it, I don't think, outside of Arena. But yeah, I wanted to clarify, this is Arena and not constructed. I didn't notice that before. And wow, so Kill V6, which I recognized because I was trying to figure out what the heck the name meant. Yeah, still don't know. But Kill V6 has elected to run Invade in Arena. So its Dark Seduction powers are prevalent even in the happy world of Arena. I'm thinking Skooma Racketeer on the 1/3 to kill off the guard. Maybe he's going to save it until he's ready to strike the 7/7. Although Giant Bat gonna start doing some draining in the other lane, and as we know, I mean, K Fluffy's got that left-right going on where he's like, I'm gonna start whittling. Oh no! Oh, that's bad news. That's bad news. I was about to say, you know, he keeps it away from Kill V6's deck, but I mean, that's a heck of an Arena pick. Not gonna lie. And that may just. I mean, Territorial Viper is a great pull there. Silt Strider is going to be able to get a guard down. And yeah, look at that. See, and this is hallmark of great players. Silt Strider. I would never pick it. I don't think anybody would ever pick it unless the other cards were so egregiously horrible. But you see there it being used to great effect, being exactly what K Fluffy needed at that moment. Unfortunately, it does remove his... Oof. Let's see, Gout Fang, 1/1 in guard, so that is going to be useful here. As will Staff of Ice, that's going to be huge. Huge. I don't know, in K Fluffy he might do Staff of Ice on the 5/4 to kill the 3/4, and no, I think that's a little too risky. You got to get rid of the big old 9/2, I think, personally. So, K Fluffy on his options. It's another card that we've seen has become popular in Arena. The 3/4. Oh, she now has lethal always! And boom, there she goes. And she'll be able to deal with... So, Kill has 2 cards that we don't know what they are. He's got 2 Firebrands, but without a buff, which I'm assuming... You know, in Constructed, you could see a Fighters Guild Hall come down. Yeah, you're not gonna. You're doing that for the damage. You don't want to fight the 4/5. All right, so K Fluffy is going to be able to draw some cards there. Ooh, Queen Baron Zaya could be amazing, and as well as Gravegrass. But yeah, so Queen. Is this? Can you shackle a specific and enemy creature?
Looks like you need some light.
Okay, chooses not to do that. All right, this is going to be it. If Kill cannot remove the 6/3 with another crushing blow, which I think seems to be his reach, then oh no. Oh, that just gives him more health, which is not a big deal. I mean, it does give him drain too, but you know, K Fluffy has not at this particular point turned that corner where he's begun doing damage. Although Queen Baron's Eye does represent a broken rune. And we'll most assuredly see Grave Grasp come down now. Ooh. I thought he might do it beforehand, just in case a Prophecy put another card on the board and he wanted to make sure that he was able to shackle that down. I may have read that wrong. And maybe he won't be using the shackle anyway. It doesn't look like he is. Alright. And yeah, boy, he is turning the tide here.
Don't make me hurt.
Well, I forgot that's a big 6/5 drain, so... Now, Fluffy is in position to wreck it while keeping his drain on board. As it stands now, that's a dangerous card to have. It's not imminent, but the fact that it's going to... Right now, K Fluffy really needs...
Time to fight.
Oh, what has he
It's
got?
okay.
What crazy things
Stay
he got?
behind me.
Interesting. Alright, so... I mean, you can kill with the 3/4 and the 1/2 easy, because of course they have lethal. Alright. That's pretty much the ideal. That was the best roll, I think, for her. Obviously, regeneration wouldn't be good. She already has lethal. Guard wouldn't... I mean, guard might have been okay, but she would have been dead anyway. So, definitely the best roll, I would say. And interesting, he chooses to let her go. But I mean, and to be fair, now that's something to me. I'm going because you get in this. I call it like a poverty mindset, where if you've been low on health, you want to keep your health gain on the board. But you have to realize, as K Fluffy did, when you're at 21 health, when you have more health than your opponent, health is not as big of a deal anymore as reach and other things you could possibly put down. So, you know, him making that trade. Oh, and what a card to put down afterward. I was going to say, it looks like Kill is going to be running low, but has just enough. Has that one card, which is really going to make things challenging for K Fluffy as things stand now. Whiterun Protector, actually fantastic here with the Rune Break from Manic Jack, or that guy, whatever his name is, Bone Dude, Bone Weaver. Bone Weaver, hey, I got it right. Oh, heart stopped. I checked to make sure I was recording the right screen this time. And right before I looked, I was like, "Oh my gosh, please tell me!" And thankfully it is, because I like I said, you can hear there's some congestion here, which is weird. Oh wow, that was a heck of a top deck. It's not going to be enough to save Kill though, and K Fluffy is going to pull this one out of the flames. Well, I don't know why I said flames. Maybe because the dragon came down and does it. And once again, another worthy contest. See, he emoted. I don't know why the other guy's avatar didn't emote. That's weird. Okay, and boy, Dano, I just, without even looking at the board, I see Altar, I see Telvanni, I see what obviously was a conscription, and we know Dano is up against it with whatever he's running here, which is a mage. Of course, it's not an invade mage, because he don't run like that. And let's see. I wonder if he's pondering Ulfric's Uprising. He's got it for cheap. Maybe Abner Tharn or Lyneth. And nope, he doesn't have enough for Lyneth and Ulfric. I mean, but Abner Tharn, let's see. What could Abner Tharn do? He could draw him a card. He could shackle. I think he's going to use it to remove. Yep, he's going to trigger Manticora. Knock out the 6/3. Boink. And yeah, boy, oh boy. Good to see Ulfric's Uprising. Dano, I applaud you, sir, for using that. That used to be like the go-to card, especially in control lists back in the day. Because it really does, it is powerful if you, I mean, you have to build that board. Your board, you have to do the legwork. So he's going to be able to destroy 2 creatures here, but he's got to move fast. About 15 seconds left. The only downside, of course, is that Vitschultz has a ton of cards in his hand right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, full hand. Full hand. Dano just has to break 1 rune and he's going to overdraft. So, Cloud Rest, Grizzly Gourmet. Oh, and Vit Schultz being a party pooper. Somebody finally plays Ulfric's Uprising, and he's like, nope, that's gotta go. Boo! And the Necromancer doing the Necromancy things. Oh boy, another Necromancer. What if he's gonna summon a giant snake? Goodness gracious me. Or Danger Noodle, as some people say. But yeah, it was interesting, 2 games ago, K Fluffy. Oh, really? Oh, hey, Kate. Hey, that's on me. Look, I can't even predict obvious moves anymore. He's going to let that happen, which is a bit foolish because Cloud Rest into Grizzly... Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9... No, nope. He wouldn't be able to break any runes. He's already broken the first 2. Okay, he goes just for the trade. Unfortunately, Golden Saint is not going to be any value here.
Friend.
Yeah, it's... I mean, Dano's playing it well. Oh, and yes, Grizzly Gourmet on the Spy Master.
Eat you up.
Surprise! I might put that in there myself. I don't know. We'll see. Wow. I said this before. That Soul Burst is becoming ubiquitous at a time. And before it was a no-show. I mean, that was... I remember dusting that like twice, I think, when I first got it. I was like, I'm never going to use this. And it's partially because it is kind of greedy. You have to have... I mean, in order for it to... I mean, obviously, at this point in the game, it doesn't matter, but it feeds off of... its cost is reduced by unique legendaries. So I have put together some greedy decks where it's just nothing but unique legendaries. But, I mean, as many of those and then just regular legendaries. And of course, you know, you can't buy wins that way. But obviously, if you do that and play Soul Rest, you can definitely get some good results. All right, so he is probably looking to Marak. Unfortunately, well, no, it's actually it's good that he's in that lane. The problem is, Vit Schultz is probably going to be. Ooh, I mean. He needs the draw, but he needs the guard more than the draw. So I think we're going to see the yoinking of...
Beware my...
Oh, no! This just might be the end. That's... Well, yeah. I don't know. It's rough. He's got 4 damage coming in from the field lane, guaranteed. He can play Marak.
You cannot match Telvanni.
Okay, now there's 8 coming from... yeah, 8 coming from... that side. Now there's 9 coming in from that side, and interesting. Knew that wouldn't kill, but yeah, he's out for blood here. So that's 8 from the left side, 5 or 6. No, it would be 5. 5 from that side, so that's 9. So 3 away. And with everything Vitz has, I would be very surprised. I mean, Dano's put up a heck of a fight. I mean, he's up against classic Telvanni. There's really not... And I think he puts Marak in that side just because otherwise he dies very quickly to the 1-2. He's going to Wardcraft.
Friend.
And may sacrifice... okay. He's going to use that to keep her alive. Alright, so as of now... Dano's got a shot. He's not dead on board. And just like that. He's got exact lethal in that lane. And one
Speak, citizen.
Oh, well fought, Dano, well fought. I mean, Prophecy could do it here, but yeah. Good game. It's classic Telvanni.
This video is sponsored by Crocblocker, brought to you by yours truly. I don't want to be self-aggrandizing, but I did throw some of my ideas into the mix, and while they are a little more memey or comical or jokey than some of the other ones that are definitely more thought out and tied to the lore, I think the ideas behind them are at least worth sharing. So here we go. This is Crocblocker support for cost neutral, so every deck can have it. As long as Crocblocker is in play, Oblivion Gates cannot be opened, disconnects by invade opponents, result in instant loss. That last part is more of a joke than anything else, because as we know, there are legitimate reasons why people disconnect, but I would argue that the percentage of disconnect rates per invade player. So if there's 50 invade players, I would say at least half of them, if not more, do disconnect when things don't go their way. They can't spawn their gate or whatever else. And to be honest, even if they do legitimately disconnect, and it's not because they're just being a bad sport, it's invade, it shouldn't be played anyway, so I have no problem with it. I'm joking, of course, more or less, but not really. But obviously the main effect is that it stops the gate from being open. In my mind, the mechanic, the gate does spawn. It gets chained down and everything in that, typically it's going to be in that shadow lane, but it has this effect on it. There's like this little glowing orb of interference or whatever that is actually over it, and so as long as that support is in play, maybe it's throbbing with, magnificent power, and that's being reflected, because a lot of these supports, they have, like there's the Thalmor Retreat or whatever it is, where essentially you can't be damaged by actions. It actually puts this like cool like little aura around your avatar. It would be something like that with the support, and then the actual card itself would have that over it. I think it'd be a cool thing, and it forces Invade to at least run like support. They have to do what other decks do. They have to acknowledge that there are supports, are things that can actually screw them up. And just to kind of put into a small picture why Invade is so broken, if this card were to exist, I can almost guarantee you, as things stand now, as Invade was developed, the devs would come out with a 5-cost support, remove, and invade. Because that's the problem with Invade. Everything is a do this functional action, maybe at 1 cost, maybe at the same cost, and maybe at a bargain actually than normal actions, and invade at the same time. So the fastest mechanic to just get out of control, it is incurred, it is brought into being every time you do that. Every time you play an action, these actions, hey, do a removal, hard removal, and invade, silence a creature, and invade, do ping 2 damage, and invade. It's just like, draw a card, and invade. It's like it's just perpetual. And so it would be something like that, where it only costs 1 more than the douche, it would be like a 5 cost. So you get to remove the support, which, let's be fair, Shadowfen can also do that, but he also has a silence effect, anywho, but it would be that and remove it. And it's like, no, that's, you're missing the point. They need to factor in the douche, or they need to be at a disadvantage if they're playing, these other color combinations that don't include red, one of your classic invade colors, because now you gotta, make sure that you've got some kind of support removal in the works, even if you have to pull out the Vicious D. So anyway, I just think it would force a little more creative deck building onto Invasion, and it would give the chance to give everyone a reprieve from Invade. It is a unique legendary because I think, one, you probably wouldn't want to have more than one of these in your deck anyway, just because, you can go a day or 2 or 3, depending on, how things shake out, where you don't even play it against Invade, and this is a decidedly, there's some cards where it's like the Dawnbreaker that we talked about last time. A 4/4 is great, even if it doesn't kill the undead. It's great statted. This card is useless, absolutely useless, if you're not up against Invade. So, like I said, you probably wouldn't want to have more than one of these anyway, and I do think that the effect is powerful enough, because with that there, until it can be removed, and at turn 4, I think it's kind of fair. It's not, not spitting at it. At 2, it does give them a chance. I mean, if you play this after Invasion Party, it kind of sucks, because they've already got a nice momentum going, but it does put a hold on that. And that's the thing, I think, is that, if they do come out of the gate, just being able to spam all those, all those high cards, like I said, like Invasion Party, and then it goes, that rolls into something else. And there's so much synergy there that this could at least put a pause on it, even if the gate has gone off a few times. So anyway, that's just a thought, just something that is actually designed to hurt Invade. Right now, there is nothing. You can find cards that remove gates easy or easier, but there are ways that Invasion players are finding to work around that. And that kind of creativity is needed and should be there for the Invade mechanic, but it is not forced. It is not something that's required, because it's just so ridiculous. But anyway, enough of that. That's the Croc Blocker, and now back to the game.
Okay, we have, this is the closest thing to a start of a game that we've come up against with Mark. Both times I've queued into the game, it's been at the end, but it has been absolutely decided. Right now, he is needing to make the shift. I mean, I think he's got it. I think he's got it against Reconciler, which is a nice profession. That's a great profession, in the business of reconciling. But we see Mark's hand. I think this is a... I think he's got this easy. I mean, Aelid Guardians, New Era, Mannimarco. I'm just going to name off all the cards he has in his hand. They're all pretty darn good. They're all pretty darn good. Yeah, English, pretty okay. And Reconciler able to have just enough. If it was my luck, I would have like a red card or something that I would not be able to get that card drawn, have to wait. But it does, I think, I don't know if Mark can finish it now. 5, 8, 9, 12, 11. Yeah. 15, 19. And does not have reach in hand. So, unless Necromancer or Mannimarco. Does he have... Mannimarco could snag Crusader's Assault. That would only give him an extra 2. Okay, so he's going to play it super safe here, which is smart when you've been that close to death. And oh my goodness gracious, yeah, Reconciler just pouring on the stats.
chimeric spirit of the sky.
Jeez, yeah, that's... I think Mark was definitely wise to wait. It's like he knew
Leave
that Reconciler was going to put up a heck of a board.
Let them fight their false kings.
But yeah, he's... Let's see... Unfortunately, Immolating Blast hurts Mark just as much as it does Reconciler. So I'm sure we'll see... I think we'll see... Well, she doesn't have to hit face. She can... Oreo Cookie can hit the 5-1. Yep, she does. Okay, he just decides to scrap his own... He kills his own men! Dastardly. So dastardly. But if I recall correctly, he had diddly squat in that lane. It was nothing of merit. And he's got cards in hand, and Reconciler does not. So, I can certainly understand wanting to stick with it.
I bow.
But Reconciler
I live. Awaiting your command.
concedes. We are calling this Dano's Revenge because Dano is going to get revenge on the game that did him so wrong before. He has switched over from the Mage to Ebonheart. And it looks like just pure, unadulterated rage Ebonheart. I mean, this is the aggro of aggros here. With your Morko Gatekeepers, your... You know, I really hope... so they ran a package a while ago. It was like $5 to get these premium Nordfire brands, the good art. But then they also had a way to... Raiding Party, make the Raiding Party the better art as well. There's a much better art for that. And I haven't seen it since, and unfortunately that's because it's a package deal. It's not something you can get in the gauntlets. Which kind of sucks, because, yeah, I think the difference... Oh, no! Oh, he's up against Aini! I just saw who his opponent was! My goodness gracious. So Aini running the market.
My scales move in shadow. Think it's worth dying for.
Wow! So I don't know if you just saw that. Mark said he just went 13-1 with that Empire list that we just saw. Went from rank 5 to 3 with no losses. Alright, sorry I took you away from the action there for a second. Things are looking a little grim for Dano, unfortunately. They were looking pretty good initially. Mournful Trader is a great pickup. Obviously, that's something you want to see earlier in the game.
You can trust me.
We absolutely cannot trust you. And he's got to wonder if he should break that rune right now, but I think he has to. And Morko Gatekeeper on the Nordfire brand, protecting his 4/4, and getting 90 down on, like, he is skidding back. If he does not have the... Well, I was going to say something else, but Debilitate also gets the job done. Oh my goodness gracious, he has all the things. Oof. Dano's really scraping it. And very wise there. I don't know if he's going to hold on to it, because maybe he has the Headhunter. Okay, I was thinking he might hold on to it. Unfortunately, more than likely, Aini has something for that 1/1 to take it out. And there's all the draw that we see. If he doesn't have... What was the card I was thinking of? What was the card I was thinking of? Spoils of War! That was the one I was thinking of. Unfortunately...
Are you listening to me? You better.
Interesting. So he's not dead on board. He's very close. Just kidding.
Taste fetch.
A frustrating deck to lose against, to be sure. Yeah. I've not developed any more love for Market than I have for Invade.
I'll scout ahead.
I've seen it run. Ooh, that's... Is that enough? No, it's not going to be enough, but boy, it gets him a little bit closer. What is it? What does it add?
Time to fight.
Okay, so he wisely waits to use it. Still doesn't have enough to finish Aini off this turn. Oh! That's interesting. Why didn't he hit? Oh, okay, because he didn't want... He wanted to survive one turn. Aini with more draw there. Ah, boy, oh boy. Which it's dangerous up against a deck that runs all these curses and zero-cost effects. That Nord Firebrand may not survive this turn. Heck, the 5/3 may not survive, depending on what he's packing. And yeah, that's going to do it. I mean, not do it for the game necessarily, but definitely clears off the lane. And now Dano just needs, he's going to need some reach. Yeah, I feel you, Dano. Oh, man, and there was the reach. That was game.
Looking to make a purchase?
Ooh. That may be frustration. I don't know, because he's only on turn 8, so it's not like he's got abundant magic. And we've seen before, we saw another game where if they had only played the sword on that particular turn, they would have won because they needed that one magicka. So not necessarily there. It's usually a rule, and I'm not saying that it has to be all the time, but usually it's a rule that you don't want to equip an item onto a creature until you're ready to use it, because they can very easily be killed off. And so, I mean, yeah. And there's the Spoils of War. Yeah. We'll finish the game out, but I mean, the only person it's fun for is the person playing the self-serving deck. It's really not fun for the opponent. It's not really fun to watch. Because it's really just, if you get your draw, you win. If you don't get your draw, then you lose. And that's about as simple as it gets.
Now, where was I? Oh, yes.
And don't have to be terribly clever. Unlike, what's his name? I mean, Corner Club, you could try it, but boy, if he doesn't have removal for that, I'd be very surprised.
More powerful than you can imagine.
What is he going to do here?
Care to make a friendly wager?
Okay, he does that just so that he can play her without having to get rid of something. Again, I don't think she's going to survive. If she does, yeah, yeah. But yeah, unlike Fluffy Fries finding creative ways to use Market or, lockpick, those kinds of things. Yeah, Dana's just had enough. Unfortunately, here at the end, we've kind of run out of gas in terms of folks actually playing the game right now, so I am having to jump in to kind of round things out. And I'm just playing this is the last deck that I actually tried to put together, and I don't think it had a very good showing last time, so we're going to give it a shot with this. Greet our opponent, Lucky XXI, which is, I think, 21? Lucky 21? Jack of Trades, Empire. Not Control Empire. Got the old crab there. Boy, I feel so rusty. I'm like, ooh, I'm playing the cards now. But I also wanted to use this opportunity to, so the story, the buffet, to finish that story off. Yeah, it was just very anticlimactic. So we waited in line for 45 minutes. We're starving hungry at this point. We're not going to turn away, but it was like twice as much as we expected to pay. But we were like, you know what? Maybe it's going to be amazing. And so it'll be great. We'll be able to use it. Okay, so our efforts are going to be thwarted by a ridiculous thing. But luckily, we've got our Vigilant Ancestor here. We could have also put Throne Aligned on her. It's pretty much the same thing. But this will leave our opponent with just the Wily Kiva left. Just kidding. Now they've got more stuffs. And so, yeah, we're going to see Throne Aligned. We're going to do our Throne Aligned and Expunge. Ooh, wait a minute. This gives it guard, right? Yeah, 3/3. Shackled. So it's going to be better on here. Oops. Give yourself guard, puppers. Make you nice and big and strong. Big ol' 5/6. Look at that. Throne Aligned doing its job. And we've got Expunge to free it if Lucky XXI tries to do it. Anyway, so to finish the story, yeah, so anticlimactic, we sat down. It was not the worst buffet. It was nothing special. The crab legs, I guess we're good. We didn't bother with it. Okay, so he's going for the Shifty shift there. Interesting. Okay, I was gonna say, if we didn't finish him off, then we could use our expunge to heal. But, unfortunately, he used expunge. We'll go ahead and make this trade here, hoping to close this out. We know, of course, this means he has some shenanigans afoot. Okay, he's just gonna go for face there. Alright. Would really like... Well, let's see. We're going to do expunge here. So now he's free forever. Yay! We're going to mummify this. See, I need to start counting before I do stuff because... Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to how much I had. But I think that worked out okay. We'll save negation for... Ooh, not for that, but... Wow, yeah, they're really looking to make that push. Luckily... Oh, look at us with our stuffs here. We're not going to push yet, but we look at that. We've got a big threat there. We've got our other hulking mummy there. We can.
Training is over. It's time.
Got that. We are going to want to take her out. Okay, we've got our hulking mummy. And we're going to go ahead and start the push. Yeah, so we didn't have the crab legs, because the thing was, we after we waited in all those lines... Ooh. Maybe I should have waited. Got a Dark Guardian here. Oh no, we can do...
I'll keep a lookout.
A bit short-sighted, admittedly, in many ways. Because once he goes down, then that one mummy is going to get shackled again. But I do have expunge, so not short-sighted at all. Amazing. Divine Fervor is not going to save you, my friend.
Care to make a friendly wager?
We'll be able to...
A
Nice.
fine battle.
Good game.
This was a worthy contest.
Woohoo! We got one! Huzzah! Happily, while I was filling in the gaps, Arrakis has jumped online, and we are in arena. I am noticing that here. Arrakis, top 10 player. Fantabulous stuff. We had a brief stint where it looked like my playing might have actually been a detriment to him, but I think we're past that now. I'm very confident in his abilities. He is up against Telvanni, but it will not be a classic Telvanni because it can't be, because even though we will probably see a lot of familiar cards, it is not constructed, so it's not going to have all the fixins.
This one can be counted upon.
And that one can be counted upon. And this is going to be the last game here, so I'll try to wrap up all the convos here. Yeah, so the buffet didn't touch the crab legs, long was line. I did stand in line for the prime rib. It was not bad. It was not worth $85. And the rest of the buffet was middling. It was like, okay, nice smattering of different stuff, but nothing super delicious, nothing, nothing like, wahoo. And even if you just wanted to eat $80 worth of ice cream, they gave them to you in like, I mean, we're talking a little doll, like a marshmallow size, like giant marshmallow size scoop. So it would take you like 25 trips to get, or 50 trips to get any kind of significant accumulation of ice cream. So yeah, just no, not great. So that's my buffet story. King Crab. I don't know where that came from. Oh, crabs. We were talking about crabs. Yeah, but yeah, the line for the crab legs was long. I don't like them just because it's a lot of fight, a lot of work to get a little bit of meat, and I don't think it's all that great. And crabs are bottom dwellers. They eat crap, literally. Crabs and lobsters, they eat crap off the ocean floor. So you are what you eat. Well, they eat crap. That makes them crap. And if you eat it, that makes you crappy too. I'm kidding, of course. Lots of people love it. It's totally fine. I have eaten them both. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's a great socializing event. But I sure as heck am not going to, like, I wouldn't pay extra for them. And I'm sure as heck I'm not going to stand in a 20-minute long line to pick an ounce of meat out of, 35,000 nasty looking legs that are filled with crap. Crap meat. No, it's not crab meat. It's crap meat. It's weird. I mean, because it wasn't. I think it's been recent, like 20th century, when crabs and lobsters were considered, delectable things. They were considered, oh, these are really nice. Otherwise, it was like that was the food of peasants. Like that's what you ate if you were poor, which is what peasants means. Anyway. I won't belabor that point any further. Yeah, so I didn't do that. Like I said, the prime rib was okay, but by the time I got it, it was like this. It just the cost made the food taste worse, if that makes any sense. I hate when people say that, because usually it means that they said something that they know doesn't make sense, or it obviously does make sense. I don't know. I'm cranky all this, and I don't know why. I think it's because of this sinus congestion is just getting worse. And I'm like, come on. Granted, I just spent 4 days in airports and Vegas with thousands and thousands of people, so the chances of me not getting a localized ailment of some kind were pretty slim, but it's just not a lot of fun. And we got a deck list from Dano. Not sure what he's playing, but we'll take a look at it. He did see. I'm gonna probably cut his comment out there, just try to keep the focus on the gameplay. But he did say he's gonna use cards like False Incarnate and something else in order to counteract this corrupt meta we have, which would include like Market. Because False Incarnate you can't drain, you can't heal, and if Aine had not been able to heal in that game, Dano would have been able to pull it off easily. So he's, you know. I think he said at A. Ross's suggestion, play cards that align well against the meta. And Arrakis here, I mean, they're doing all right. He's doing all right. Clockwork Apostle is going to be good. I mean, +4/+4 on her is pretty significant. But of course, we know there's a lot of removal and nasty things that Telvanni can use to thwart that. This is also the day after Valentine's Day. And I just wanted to remind you, public service announcement, if you are married or if you're in a relationship, Valentine's Day can be great because it's an excuse. It's an excuse to focus on your significant other. You know, it's not needed. We don't need cards. We don't need chocolate to tell people we love them. But sometimes we get so wrapped up in life, or I mean, and that's not to point fingers. It's just it's very easy to get wrapped up in life. It's very easy to kind of be, you know, to not to take things for granted, or not even really consciously take them for granted. It's not like, oh, they'll always be there, it's fine. But you don't give them the time that they need. So I think Valentine's Day, for couples, with married or otherwise, is a great way to say, as a reminder, as an excuse, to say, hey, I have a reason, I have an excuse to focus on you. I have a reason to lavish you with attention, with affection, because here's a holiday that reminds, well, not even a holiday, here's a day that reminds us that. And I you know, I don't think we need to get the cards and all that stuff. I mean, do you. Ooh, Pack Shield Bearer. Oh. You know, it's not necessarily, but it's just a way to say, hey, I'm gonna love on you a little bit. So I think it's great for that. But for all of us single folks, there's nothing wrong with being single. And so for the rest of us, like I said, it's a great excuse. It's an acknowledged day where you can lavish the love on someone else. But if you're single, don't even think about it. Oh, this is a day that I'm alone and by myself. It doesn't exist for us. It's just a day like the 14th is just a day like any other day. And I know this is the day after, so it may not be helpful, but just to remember, yes, Gromine Magus, he's an ugly bastard, but he gets the job done against action cards. Although I don't know how well he do against a Market deck, just because Market has so many actions. You'd really have to get lucky and hit a Spoils of War for him to really be effective. But I mean, and this is a great game here. I'm trying to commentate. Oh yeah, Crisis Begins. Clearly, Arrakis chose that just for the removal, which is clutch against the big ol' 8/8 Leviathan. The gate's not going to do much. Ash Berserker though is going to be crucial here, as it's going to give him that card draw that he needs so very badly. He's probably going to give it to the Ash Berserker, so the Ash Berserker can generate his own value, and he's really closing in on 1999, who does still have a formidable Shadow Lane. Oh, and a big old guard. I mean, he is just drawn into the big dogs. Channeled Storm. And it hits with Dagger first. He's going to be one off. But he can play Dragon Wizard next turn, and that's going to probably do it. And he'll be able to squish it with Discerning Thief next turn, if he so desires.
Perhaps we can help.
Oh, interesting. And not going to be enough. Good game, Arrakis. Well, like I said, though, folks, it's well done, well played, sir. Got another great arena game. For a reminder, it's okay to be single. You know, society, or what we perceive as society telling us, you know, or things like Valentine's Day seem to be shaming you for being single. It's not. We just need to shake that off, shake off that lie. We don't need to be ashamed of it. We don't need to be worried about it. We don't need to feel, any self-pity for it. And nor do I think a lot of society doesn't care, whether we're single or not. And if they did, it doesn't matter. It's okay to be single. It's free to be single. There's a lot of great things you can do as a single person. Our life is not defined by being in a couple. I personally am at the point now, I'm 42, so I probably have a lot of years on many of you who play right now. And I hate to say it when you get to be my age, but really, there are many times where I would disingenuously say, like, oh, I don't care about a relationship, I don't want a relationship. But I've gotten to the point now, happily, where I can actually say, you know what? Unless or until I come across someone who, together, we are going to be greater than we are separate. So in other words, somebody said, hey, you two would be great together. Your life will be fine, her life will be fine, but you'd be together. That's not going to cut it. There needs to be a synergy between us. There needs to be something between her and I that makes both of our lives exponentially better than they would be if we were on our own. And that's not necessarily a given. A lot of relationships, you get into them, and depending on how well the synergy is and how well overall, things work out, it's like it's an alternate life. It's like you could have this or this, but they're pretty much equal. If you were to live by yourself, if you stayed single, it would be this way. There would be some pros and cons. And when you're married or you start dating, there's pros and cons as well. There needs to be, for me at this point in my life, there needs to be a significant higher pros than cons column. It shouldn't be either or. Either one will get you there. If that's the case, I'm happy to remain single. If I find somebody and it's like, wow, we make a great team. She builds me up. I build her up. She roughs out my edges. I rough out hers. I challenge her. She challenges me. Then that's what I want, and that is worth the energy and the time, and yes, the sacrifice. I mean, it's not like a noble sacrifice, but in a relationship, you are going to, some people call it a compromise. I would say in certain instances, it is a sacrifice. Say, I'm giving of myself. I'm surrendering this part of myself or this part of my life in order to accommodate you and to welcome you into my life. And I think when it's right, when it's natural, or when it's right, there is not everything. It's not going to be like, oh, look, you don't require me to give up anything, and I don't require you to give up anything. That's perfect. It's not going to be that way. But that the hardest things, or the things that are the biggest issues, that there's going to be a natural dovetailing of, the two people's, temperaments and visions and passions and what they want to do. There's going to be a dovetail that's going to overlap, and so it's not going to be like, I had to give up my dreams for her, or so that she could have this, and vice versa. There's going to be a synergy there. So anyway, I'm just putting it out there. That's my big picture. I've gotten to the point where that's genuine. People are like, well, beggars can't be choosers. I'm like, who said I'm a beggar? I'm older. It doesn't mean that, but I've come to the genuine, bedrock, foundational truth that I do not need to get married. I don't need to be in a relationship to be validated, to have a full life, to have a wonderful life, and a life of purpose. And I can only hope that if you're single and you're watching this, even if Valentine's Day kind of kicked you in the groin a little bit, you can maybe embrace some of that truth in your life as well. Look, it's not necessary. Society tells you, oh, you need to go out and you need to have sex, and you need to be with somebody. You got to have somebody. Everybody needs somebody. And there are definitely times of the year, like Christmas and Valentine's, where it seems even more acute. But that's a lie. It's a patent lie. You don't need somebody else. Back in the day, 400 years ago, centuries ago, you kind of did. Your survival usually depended on you building up a sizable family. So you needed somebody who could protect and who could produce, and you needed somebody who could reproduce, who could create that family. And it took both of them working in tandem to survive, let alone thrive. Nowadays, it's not required. So it's very true that it is not necessary. And there's a guy named Shane Willard who said he does marriage counseling. He's got a master's or PhD in relational stuff or whatever. Anyway, he's pretty much saying, anybody who comes to me and says, man, my life is so hard right now, my life is so difficult, I really wish I was in a relationship. It's like, they got it all wrong. It's not going to get easier when you get in a relationship. It gets exponentially harder when you're in a relationship. Like, if you're having a hard time hanging on now, you're just going to drag that person down with you. It's not going to get better. If you're like, oh, if only I was in a relationship, my life would be awesome. No, if your life sucks now, it would just get exponentially, I said that twice already, but it's going to just get worse, because now you're adding on somebody else's life and accommodating them. And, again, ideally, it works with both people kind of holding the other to some degree, not above, like, oh, you're above me, but just I'm going to lean against you. You're going to lean against me. There are going to be times where, you know, I'm leaning more heavily, and, you know, I need you to be a pillar. And sometimes, you know, vice versa. It's going to go back and forth. And I think there are definitely differences in relational dynamics, in how men communicate, how women communicate, what they value, what they need. And that's a whole other rabbit hole I won't go down. But I do think I just wanted to put that message out there. Post Valentine's Day, don't get down. Don't, you know, spend too much time in self-pity. Yeah, I mean, if you really, I know I've been there, and you really want love in your life, you really want that significant other, and you go, why not me? Why hasn't it happened for me? And there's many, many reasons why not. I mean, ranging from, you know, mistakes we make or our approach to living to things we can't control. But there are a myriad of reasons why. And so if you can, you just get to the place where you go, it's okay, I'm single, and that's okay. It's not, I'm single and I want to change that. It's like, I'm single and that's okay. And you can pursue love. You can, you know, continue to pursue it as you will, but just not to let yourself get down by artificial days like this or holidays like Christmas. Christmas is a little bit less because it naturally invokes family, and, you know, is kind of seems built for, hey, you know, whether you're the kid or whether you're the parents, you know, having that dynamic and meeting with family and breaking bread and all that good stuff. Valentine's Day, I would say, is less. So it's more manufactured. It's easier to see it as kind of just all right, this was created to get people to go out and spend money on dinner and stuff. Kind of boost the economy in February when everything else is kind of just flat, dead, and whatever. Anyway, I've blathered on for too long. I need to get this thing edited so I can get it to you all on time. Thank you so much for watching. To those who have played, thank you as well. And until next time, keep playing.